welcome to the Wellbeing Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We've only gone and got Laura Barker. And Laura, please will you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Tell me your job, role, title. Tell me.
Okay, nice to see you again. So I'm Laura Barker. I've got 3 roles within the trust, which is really exciting. So I'm a clinical specialist dietitian, so I support patients with neurological conditions.
Didn't know that. I didn't know you were specifically neurological physician.
Specifically Huntington's, MND, MS, stroke, brain injury. So the rehab side as well as the kind of progressive side.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting. It can be hard, but it's interesting. It can be rewarding as well. Yeah. I'm a dysphagia practitioner, so I'm extended role. So I support the speech and language therapy team with at the minute, it's trying to meet that 4-week wait and supporting the team, all hands on deck type of thing. So again, great team, love working with them. And then one day a week, I do the lead allied health professional role. So that's kind of it's a senior sort of clinical role. And it kind of looks at, it's basically having AHP in those kind of senior leadership kind of circles and kind of being that voice and that type of thing, specifically championing kind of developing that AHP work. Because there's a lot of us. There's so many of us, you know what I mean? And obviously there's from nurses and doctors in that senior leadership team that's always represented, but we can sometimes find we're a bit underrepresented. So it's been a great opportunity to kind of, do that voice and that type.
Is that a permanent role or something you do?
Secondment 1 day a week. Yeah, just 1 day a week. So so it kind of fits in nicely because it's within my neuro rehabilitation portfolio. So yeah, and working with Home First as well.
That's brilliant. What an achievement to get to that. I'm really truthful about that. This is a health and well-being. Emphasis on the well-being bit, I would say.
Yeah.
And having met you a few times now, whenever I have met you, it's very much been well-being related, hasn't it? Every time our paths have crossed, it's been along. So, yes, well-being or health and well-being. What does it mean to you? We talk about it all the time, health and well-being. Are you looking after your health and well-being? What are you doing for your health and well-being? Are you doing team health and well-being things?
Yeah.
So what is it all about?
I think it's one of those things that it's a bit like brushing your teeth. You've got to do it. Like, even if you think, oh, I don't really want to feel like sometimes, because after you've done it, you never feel worse off. It's not what I always say.
Never a waste of time.
Sometimes it's hard to get there, whether it's the gym. I do open water swimming. So sometimes I think, oh my God, it's going to be so cold. And I think, but after, it feels great to be swimming with all the swans and the everything and the fishes that are jumping everywhere. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's something you've got to do. And it's
can I just interrupt you? Really sorry. When you do open water swimming, how long are you in for? Because I think this is the sort of thing that people are fascinated about.
Yeah,
it's this. We would love to do it. Yeah, I was brave enough.
Well, it's only at Manford, so it's in Rotherham. It's in our it's in our area, and the team, the staff and it's voluntary. They're amazing. So I can be in. It depends. In summer, when it's kind of, because you've got the air temp and the water temp, it'll make such a difference. On the air, if the air is cold but the water sometimes can be warmer than the air sometimes. If it's like 24 degrees, me and Catherine Goldthorpe from Wheelchair Services, we do it together. And she sometimes calls it active passive floating because she just kind of, it feels like you're in a bath. But then when at the minute it's like 18 degrees, so it's a bit nippy for
18 degrees in the water. Yeah. See, I would have thought it'd be a lot colder than that.
No, at the minute, we're going to start dropping. It'll start dropping now, going up towards winter. So obviously, as winter comes, so the summer season will end. You have to be signed off to do winter swimming. But signed off, you just have to do a loop of the it's just like a 400-meter loop.
And will you continue to do it through the winter?
I'm gonna try. So I've got to go once a week to be able to keep acclimatized. Otherwise, you just can't. Like last summer, I think I had a week off because I was away, and then I got cold. So I was off for 2 weeks, so I couldn't go back in. I had to wait until spring because the difference. I mean, even from 21 degrees to 18, I felt no different. I started to get like rain.
You wouldn't. Like 3 degrees, you wouldn't think it'd be any different.
No, and I've got a full-on wetsuit. I've got lava. I bought a balaclava for this because to
subtract.
Yeah. Honestly, when you think, is this where I'm at? But
So did you crochet it yourself?
Absolutely not. Bought it online. I thought it looks a bit dodgy, but and they said it doesn't matter what you get in because sometimes you end up just dipping. So in winter, I won't swim with my head in my cap and my goggles like I'm, in a swimming pool. I'll be swimming with my head out to keep my head warm, and I'll have a woolly hat on. So my body's getting that cold therapy. But obviously, as your blood comes up to your head and it warms up again, it keeps you don't get as cold as quick, if that makes sense.
And I think I'm right in saying that what that does for your mental health and your emotional regulation, there's nothing else like it. I mean, I'm talking like I've done it. I haven't. I've done a shower for like 2 seconds.
The Wim Hof, yeah.
Talking of Wim Hof and talking of my 2-second experience of a cold shower, what's the breathing situation? How are you managing that? And do you do any breath work out of that to prepare you for when you are in the water?
I don't, but they're always really cautious. So when you get in, you have to count nice and slow so your body can adjust. Obviously, basically it comes up your body. And then when you get to like where my wetsuit is, where your neck is, you pull the water and let it flush. You've got to flush, because if you set off swimming and it flushes and you don't want to be like in the middle of a lake having a flush.
Yeah.
Because in two senses of the word, because you can panic, and when you're in the middle of the lake, you can't. But you need to know your own body, and that's something I've really always struggled with, is knowing what my body's telling me. So I'm having to get in tune with that and think, right, Laura, you're okay. You're not panicking. You are in the middle of the lake, but the boys that. Do you get what I mean? It's kind of that.
It's quite a lot. Psychologically, it's quite deep actually, isn't it? And I don't mean the water's quite deep.
Well, yeah.
You saying I'm getting to know myself, I'm getting to know my body. It's a little bit like meditation. What you're practicing and experiencing in the water, there's life skills that you take with you into stressful situations.
Yeah.
In a similar way that we do with meditation.
You're so like, you get anything? God, I'm cold. That's all you can think about. So all that worry that I were annoyed about, that email that I got that kind of upset me, or like that patient went really difficult and really stressful, like it just goes. And then I get out and I'm like, it's as though because sometimes I think, especially after COVID, especially people who work from home, we struggle when we log off this computer. We don't click, we're off now. That drive home sometimes is what people sometimes still have. But even then, you can be kind of debriefing in your own mind, can't you, on your drive home? So even then, I sometimes don't think you actually switch off. Whereas when you get in that water, you're so cold. Well, I am personally, because I'm not very good with cold. But
it sounds like you're doing.
I'm getting there. Yeah, so you've got to basically train your body and like you said,
and train your mind.
Yeah,
That's
think
the thing.
and knowing the swim lead used to say to me, which is really interesting as well, always get out wanting more. And as a person who always wants to do 100% and do a little bit more, I have to think, no, Laura, you've got to get out now. And that is that concept is completely alien. So you have to be disciplined. You have to be safe with yourself. So there's a lot. There's the cold water, what it does, because there were a study somewhere, and I listened to on BBC Sounds that with rats where they did cold water therapy and it stopped them getting dementia. And I was like, obviously we're not rats, but I was like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Who's to say that I don't think it's going to do any harm. So it's definitely not. It's got to be beneficial in some way or another. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, we'll definitely recommend open water swimming.
My next question was going to be, but we've run into it, which is, what do you do for you? What do you do? So, hobbies, interests. So, cold water swimming we've got.
Yep.
So we've met in the past through Reiki.
Yep. Yeah.
We met at the AHP conference as well.
We did.
You did a session. Cool. Yeah. So we're doing sessions. Yeah. But I definitely get the impression that you are probably more than you even realise, really tuned into what's going on in your body, what's going on with your thought patterns, your feelings, your emotions, and how to how to help yourself.
Yeah.
Self-care techniques.
Yeah.
Which surely is what health and well-being is all about.
What fills your bucket. Yeah.
So, any other tricks, tips, or things that you do? So, cold water swimming we've got. What about tell us about your massage?
Yep. So I have she's like I think she's is it holistic therapy? I probably get the term wrong, but
did I recommend her to you? Or did you recommend it to me?
I think I showed her to you. That's where you found the menu of her treatments. I found her through Google. I used to have a lady who used to come and you'd be 20 quid for an hour. I mean, what's 20 quid for an hour in this day and age? Could not believe it. So 20 quid for an hour, and then she retired. So I had to find somebody else. So I basically just Googled for somewhere that comes to your home, because I can't go to a place, have a massage, and then get in car and deal with traffic. Like, for me, it's a waste of money. So for me, I like to be at home where I can just go sit on the sofa and I'm in the zone then after that. So I've got a lady who comes to the house. She comes every 4 weeks, because she said, I were noticing that it as much as it were nice, it'd take me 30, 45 minutes to actually feel, oh, I'm switching off now. And within another 15 minutes, it'll stop. So obviously, it's trying to get you, again, train your brain into that kind of relaxation mode, like resetting your nervous system type thing, like getting used to that. So now I have her every 4 weeks, and it's not cheap, but I think, you know what, like, you can't take your money to the side. Your self-care is just as important as paying your tax, paying your insurance, because we don't we do pat an eyelid about those things, but we know we have to do it. But why are we so disciplined with that, but not with our...
You wouldn't think twice, brushing your teeth twice a day. No. You wouldn't think twice about having your take your evening meal when you go home, or drinking a few glasses of water a day, because you know you need to be hydrated for your health. You know you need nutrients.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think twice about it. But yet when it comes to your actual personal well-being, we just don't always get...
No.
We don't pray. I wonder if it's a culture thing.
I think so.
I wonder...
Yeah.
We sound better in other countries than us.
Probably. I think we're just so, especially after COVID, we're so busy. We have to be doing a million things at once.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We have to be multitasking all the time.
Yeah.
We're on a Teams call, but then your emails are pinging, and then System 1's pinging, and then your phone's ringing, and there's so many ways you can communicate now. That's why I think it's hard, and it's trying to be disciplined with that, and like you said, with the self-care of actually. But I think for some people it's hard. Like, I spoke to people before and said, kind of what relaxes you, and other than stuff like that, I'm like, well, really, reading a book sometimes helps, you know, like that escape, that type of thing. But then somebody once said, like, my husband, he don't like reading, and somebody once said to me, it's because you're not found that book. Ooh, so there's that as well.
A lot of people now are listening to audiobooks though, aren't they? So if you're not actually a reader, you could perhaps be gardening, listening to
or driving. I like driving, listening to audiobooks.
Oh God,
I like to listen to stuff like... I always listen to audiobooks because I find the radio a bit monotonous, a bit repetitive. So
like Radio 1 on in the car, because I'm so young.
I don't know what Radio 1 is. What's that? Well, no, I listen to classical FM. So now how far behind you?
You're past it. Now, talking of what you said, being busy and multitasking, you're on the computer.
Yeah.
Did you know that type of adrenaline rush that you get when you're a bit frantic and busy and at it is actually quite addictive? Which the first time I learned about this, I was like, that can't be right, because it's such an unpleasant feeling.
It makes so much sense.
You start sweating and your mouth goes dry. Sometimes you get a little bit trembly in your hands. You are rushing and rushing to get to the next thing. The body finds ways of coping with these things. So we are able to train ourselves to multitask faster, to get more done, to achieve more. Then we feel great because we've achieved more. We are rushing from A to B. You're offering, I'll do that, I can do that. The way in which the brain and the body respond to this increased level of busyness, there's part of the nervous system, part of the brain that absolutely loves it. It loves to be busy, loves to be stimulated, loves to keep you going, to the point where that hit of adrenaline that we get, actually, we want more. We want more of that. A little bit like road rage. A person that struggles or encounters or experiences that anger, waving your fist, beeping your horn, waving your hand out of the window, swearing, that's unlikely to be an isolated thing. If you're a road ragey kind of person, it probably happens quite often.
Yeah.
Because the brain's searching for that next hit. It's such a, it's sometimes misconstrued as a little bit of excitement within the brain and within the body. So it seeks more of it. So then you want more.
Even though it's a negative excitement almost.
Do you know, in the cold light of day, the common sense, the calm part of us now can both probably agree that anger, frustration, anxiety, stress, not pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
There's a deep sort of part within that actually wants more of it. It's kind of exciting. How scary is that?
It's scary, but it makes complete sense, because you think, why do I keep doing this?
Yeah, why do I keep
And that's why.
doing it? Because the brain and the body are still searching for that instant hit.
And then when you do feel calm, and that's why I think sometimes when people always say they go on annual leave and they get poorly,
Yeah.
because they've like crashed and then they don't have that spike every day and you kind of feel a bit lost with your own feelings and your own.
So then the problem we have is if we do realise that point, that's brilliant, because I feel like knowledge is power. So you've got to know it in the first place to know how to come out of it. It can be, I don't want to say that this is the same for everybody. Of course, everybody's an individual. It can be incredibly difficult to rest. It can be incredibly difficult for a person that's stimulated on high alert for a lot of the time to just damn tools and sit and do nothing. That's why meditation is so hard. That's why rest is so hard. That's why even reading a book for some people is so hard, because we're not used to stillness. It feels unfamiliar.
Or sitting with, because somebody once said to me, just sit for 5 minutes and just do nothing. And I was like, oh, ew. No, yeah. I can't do that. I would just like, I don't know, the 5 minutes is up. Do I set a timer? Like, and I just think,
because that's how we used to live in.
Yeah, exactly. We've got to, we
used to do it.
Yeah.
All interesting stuff. We definitely could be here hours and hours and hours to unpicking all of this. So I seem like this podcast is probably going to get as many views as the Taylor Swift and whatever his name is.
I don't know. I've seen his face.
So his face, but I don't know what it's called. Anyway, that got quite a few million. I'm presuming it's going to be, I presume it'll be the same. But I want to talk to you about a little bit about Reiki. Now, I don't think everybody's heard of Reiki. It might be a word. Oh, do you? What do you think?
You might get it mixed up with something else. You know, like the reflexology. I feel like there's lots of R's in there. So
bandy will. But I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I? I had a patient this morning. Typical sort of slightly older Yorkshire gentleman who was quite happy and quite open to say, God, I used to just raise my eyebrows at anything like that, thought it was a load of rubbish, until I've experienced it. And it's been a complete game changer.
Which I love. Yeah.
First time I met you, or the second time I met you.
Yeah, we did. Did we do it 2 or 3 times?
Well, you said if I can't see it, I don't believe it. Sorry to throw your words back out.
Oh, absolutely.
We're in the conservatory in the Opal Centre, doing a group thing. And the topic of Reiki came up, and you said, if I can't see it and I can't touch it, I don't believe it. I said, well, then try it. I don't feel like it's my job to prove it, but try it. And so once you tried it, what did you think?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember the first time I can't quite recall. I remember it being relaxing.
Right.
There were two times, and one of the times I was sat and the time I was laid down, which is, I think, depending on how you do it, is very different. And that way, the first time we did it this time,
laid down.
Yeah, and it was very strange because I remember you talking about the trees and the roots. Yeah, and rooting your body. So I tried to imagine and visualize like the roots from you, even though on a bed, going down into the earth. And then all I remember is when, obviously I couldn't see you at this point, I kind of felt you moved from my feet, because I think you touched my feet and you moved to the top of my head, and you did whatever you did, which you can explain probably better than me. And all I remember feeling is really like I was on a boat, like I was rocking from side to side, and I actually felt nauseous to the point where I had to ask you to stop. And then you explained it as,
I would say,
go on.
That it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Shifting of energy. Perhaps at the time you had stuff going on.
Always. There's always something.
Where is it? Where is all of the stuff that's going on in your body? Are we potentially holding it inside our body? We know that the body has the ability to hold on to, we experience this with some of our patients here, holding on to trauma, stress, anxiety, anger, worry. The body kind of retains it. So on an energetic level, through Reiki and the passing on, the passing through and the channeling of energy coming in, it kind of makes sense that there's that bit of a rocking sensation and that movement and that vibration. Pure energy. which perhaps was a little bit strong, a little bit overpowering.
Yeah, because you did the hands on, didn't you?
Yeah.
I should put hands on, and that's when it between, and which was very interesting for me because I was like, she's not doing anything, she's not massaging me.
Yeah.
So why is this happening? Yeah, yes, touch, and then I think the second time you did no touch, and the sensation was still there, but it was more bearable for me. I think, but and I think just in terms of it, that energy obviously needed to go somewhere. And in my head, like for the things I was going through at the time, it would make sense what you said. Like the fact that there is things built up. And I think everybody has, whatever it is, we're all built, whether it's work, whether it's home, there's always something that we're all clinging on to. Do you get what I mean? That we can't seem to let go of. But I would only ever do it with you, I think. But I don't know if that's so.
I'm your trusted person.
Yes, of course. I feel like when you find your people, like I have an osteopath who I trust with my life. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I've got yourself. I've got my massage.
Trust me with your life.
From a mental health point of view, absolutely. Maybe not physical health, cakes. I feel like that's not really our bag. But from a mental health point of view, absolutely.
We might need to discuss this further. I'm kidding. So Reiki now, after going from, it's not my bag if I can't see it, I can't touch it, I don't really believe. We've been on a bit of a journey.
So, and that was only, was it 2? And then did we do a 3rd time? I can't remember. That was only 2 times.
That's quite an experience, quite a turnaround. I just wanted to talk about one more thing. Just going back to my earlier question about things that you do that you enjoy, there's probably more things that you do and they just don't come to your brain quick. No, because we were talking earlier. We had like an hour-long discussion before we started recording this podcast. I feel like we missed quite a lot of golden opportunity. Crocheting. I'm a crafter now. Yeah, I've done half an hour of crafting, so I'm in the world now. I feel like a new life has begun for me. Yeah. You're also a crafter. I want to get into the crocheting scene. Yes. How do I get into the scene? I mean, do I need to be invited?
No, like, so luckily I have a friend, and she makes all the stuff that you sell, like it's good enough to sell. So she's that kind of good. And I think personally, you've got to find a friend who is willing to show you. Because I've tried the videos, I've tried looking at a piece of paper, and I can't make head and tail of it. I think when your brain's wired,
I need to be sat next to a person.
Yes,
Lee, one of our occupational therapists here. Yep. Is making her daughter's wedding dress for the wedding dress for the night do, her own dress, mother of the bride. She made the dress for the hen do that was at the weekend. Oh my God. How's that possible?
Sewing. That's what you do. Sewing, is it sewing?
Yeah.
That's it. So I did start up a sewing club. I started joining and I made a cushion.
But sewing is a cushion.
Yeah, exactly. Sewing, that is, and I feel like with that you can learn. It's a really handy skill to learn, to know how to sew. So actually,
why didn't we do that at school?
Exactly. Why didn't in home economics or whatever it was? But yeah, I did sewing as well. Crochet, it don't have to be expensive. You can literally buy you can buy everything from B&M. And like I said, I did a blanket, which is a monotonous back and forth pattern. If you've got somebody patient, just to show you how to get started, you'll be fine with it. You'll run away with it.
Maybe you're that person.
I'll ask my friend and we'll all sit together.
Right, okay. One final question.
Mm-hmm.
When are you hiring me as your personal holistic therapist? Because you promised it in an email and that's binding. That's legally binding. As you've put it.
We'll sort the details after this podcast.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
It's been such fun. See you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.